The Shinryu Era, a time people are excited for and others not so much. Powerful weapons coming our way and some even less so. You may be wondering what you need for the Force Era and what is to come your way. Don't worry, I will be making guides on Shinryu fights and I do have a Shinryu video on my channel for you to watch. Link is in the description. But anyway, let's get into it. In order to max out a force weapon, you need 12 high power stones, 4 per limit break. In order to get these high power stones, you have to exchange 240 regular power stones. And every time you sell a force weapon, you get 4 high power stones. Now, after you've actually maxed out the force weapon, you get 2 force stones. These stones can be used for your force empowerments and in order to get the passives to level 30. Now, in order to fully max out these passives, you need 3 force stones or 60 stone fragments and 15,000 character board points in order to get to the max level, which is level 30. And in order to get these stone fragments, you need to complete the Shinryu levels and you'll get 20 of these. And remember, you need level 90 and crystal level 90 in order to equip all these passives. Now, here's some tidbits about the force time. Now, in order for your force gauge to go up, of course, the force empowerment passives will help you a little bit in getting your force gauge up. And when it reaches 100%, only a character with a force weapon can use their force time. Now, you can use it in a burst phase, but the thing is, it doesn't activate in the burst. My recommendation is that you get the force gauge to 100%, you use it in the burst phase, and therefore you can get more damage out of your burst phase. But of course, if you don't have it maxed out, you can't really use all the potential that the force weapon has. Otherwise, well, it's not that great. Now that I have gone through the basics of how you need to max out your force weapon and the best time to use them, I'm now going to get into my next section, what not to do. Now, I know some people in this community like to look at YouTube videos on Shinryu fights and think, ooh, this is easy, ooh, I can beat it now, ooh, I can just do it by looking through a YouTube video and think that it's easy. It's not easy. I'm just going to point this out now. At the beginning, you won't be able to max out the force gauge as quickly as some of these videos show. And looking at these videos thinking that you can just do it and say, oh, this fight is going to be so easy when it comes to global. Trust me, I used to be one of those people and I got my ass handed to me at the beginning of Lufenia Plus. Trust me, just do your own research when it comes to these fights. Like I said, I will be doing guides on the Shinryu fights, but please don't take these things at face value. Just because someone, charges up the force gauge and they can beat it easily, it doesn't mean that you have to do it. Some of my runs are like 20 plus minutes because I choose not to play that way. And I won't lie, I am guilty of doing it, charging up the force gauge, going ham and winning, but you don't have to do that. It's best to hone your skills and to practice rather than to rush through the fight and think, oh, this was easy, and then in the next fight you get your ass handed to you. Just make sure that, take things in your own stride if you are that kind of player. Other than that, well, you can decide for yourself. Now, one thing that I will say when it comes to getting your power stones and using the power stone exchange in order to get your high power stones, let me just tell you one thing. Don't press the max button. The game wants you to use all of your power stones and in a flash they can be gone. What I recommend is that you just do the plus carefully to see, okay, this is how many I need. I need this many in order to get, whoever's force weapon to the max, and do it slowly. Don't press the max button, otherwise you're going to think, oh, wait a second, where did all of my power stones go? Another thing when it comes to your power stones, you don't need to max out every single force passive. I'll say it again, you don't need every single one for every single fight. pick and choose which ones you really want to go for. Don't use all of your power stones in the first month. Trust me, don't do it. I did this in JP and I've always regretted it. So please, pick and choose and use your power stones carefully. Now, the nice thing about being a global player is that you get visual forecasts and it's really nice, whereas on JP, we only have the OP streams in order to see what content is coming out next. We don't really have the foresight. So in terms of being a global player, you actually have an advantage to pick and choose which force weapons you really want. Now, I'm a JP player as well, and I'm going to pick and choose based on my own experience. There are a lot of force weapons I really like, and some I'm definitely going to skip. But you know, it's nice to pick and choose. So what I suggest you do is do your own research, see which force weapons you really want to go for, which ones you don't want to go for. I mentioned this in my previous video that I did about Shinryu. You don't need every single force weapon for every single fight. It's not worth it. You're going to waste your resources, and you know, there's just going to be a backlog of force weapons that you're not going to use. Trust me, I have a backlog already of those that I wish I never maxed out in the first place. So do your own research, see which ones you really want, see which ones you want to skip, and I'm sure you'll have an easy time doing that. Unless you want every single one, then I can't actually help you. And that is it for this video, everyone. Now, I hope that these tips did help you, and I wish you all the best in Shinryu Era. There's going to be a lot of fun fights, frustrating fights, simple fights. They are a variety. So I do hope that you did enjoy this video, and if you did, you can like it, but if you didn't, that's also okay. And I shall see you next time when I create my Shinryu fight guides. Bye!